Is it just me, or are we all crazy busy this month? With celebrations abounding, I'm so thankful you're here for what I know is going to be an incredible show. My first guest is not only a Grammy-nominated recording artist, but arguably one of the most recognizable voices in children's entertainment who has a special announcement to make. Then I'll show you where to find the very best grocery deals in Nashville and beyond. Next, we'll hear about the heart behind AAPI Month from a popular creator and friend of mine. Finally, we'll look at how families can come together to help the unhoused with the founder of People Loving Nashville. So get ready to engage your heart, mind, and soul, because this is the Sami Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sami Cone Show.
If you have children, you are definitely going to recognize the voice of my next guest. Not only is she a Grammy-nominated artist, but she made her home on Disney Junior for years. Please help me welcome Genevieve Goings. Hi, Genevieve.
Hey, it's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you and hear you. I mean, your voice is iconic. I mean, you've done things at the White House, but you know, I bet you could list all these things, Grammy nominations. But let's be real, Disney Junior. I mean, do we have to say anything?
All aboard the choo-choo train, all aboard the choo-choo train, all aboard the choo-choo train, all aboard, choo-choo.
And we're done.
My claim to fame right there.
We're done. We can wrap. That's all I wanted to hear. I mean, is it weird for parents to come up to me like, will you sing it? Will you sing it? Like, do parents get as excited to hear you as the kids?
The parents, definitely. And you know what? It's been amazing. I've become friends with the parents over the years, and you know, it's like I've become a part of the family. It's so many years running. It's just been incredible. It's amazing.
And you
so,
know,
yeah.
I think it's a testament to you and your talent and your spirit, to be honest, because as parents, we choose, or hopefully have some choice in what our kids listen to and watch. And if we didn't like it, you know, we're not going to play it. So what do you attribute that longevity to? What do you attribute, you know, to people being so drawn to your voice?
You know, I think it's keeping that in mind. You know, we always kept it in mind, the parents and what they wanted and kind of had to put up with. You know, it's like kids' music is something that everybody needs to listen to. And kids are smart. They are so advanced. They have a very intricate palette. And, you know, it's like we want to give them music that they love. And that's starting with Choo Choo Soul and on through all the rest of the music I've made for kids is what I try to follow, because kids they're people.
Right. Well, and Choo Choo Soul is it's so cool. I mean, like the singing, the dancing, like it's just cool. But then you voiced a lot of those Disney Junior little, like, I don't want to say commercials, but all those little music videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your own son. Is he 2 now?
Yeah, he's 2.5 actually, and he's starting to like my music a little bit. Man, those kids are fast with the iPad swipe. He's swiped me so many times, like I am down to earth all the way. Let's just put it that way. Yeah,
it grabs you really quickly, doesn't it?
It does, but yeah, he's starting to know my voice too, because like you said, my voice is on Disney Junior a lot more now with the Ready for Preschool show, as well as the nursery rhymes, and sometimes he'll stop. So I think he's starting to get it.
Yeah. How did I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but how did the whole Disney Junior thing come about in the first place?
Well, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. I was working on a video game called Toe Jam and Earl 3 Mission to Earth. I was doing voices for that. The creator of that game, his son loved trains. We got to singing and goofing around one day, and he was like, wait a minute, let's redo all these lines and have you sing them. And it started this creative bubble where Choo Choo Soul was born, and we created just this cool hip music. Disney got a peek at it and loved it. They flew me out to Burbank. This is over 15 years ago now. Put me in a preschool class and said, go. And I was like, okay, just started going. And, you know, it's kind of like the rest is history. We got to put out 5 interstitials in 2006 on what was called Playhouse Disney at the time, which was just a programming block. Now Disney Junior is a whole channel. Right. And people just loved it because I think because there's an authenticity to it. And it's just cool, like you said.
It's so true. Well, I can't let you go because I've teased this announcement before we end. What is the big announcement?
I love this. Okay, so DC and I are reuniting as Choo Choo Soul, and we are going to hit the stage at Sesame Place in Langhorne, Pennsylvania on May 21st and 22nd. We're doing 6 little mini concerts there. And it's just amazing. It's like we peeked into TikTok one day and was like, hello. And all these kids who are now grown, they're like, oh my gosh, it's you guys. It kind of sparked this new wave of Choo Choo Soul. It's like, do you guys really want Choo Choo Soul? And the people do, they still like us. So we're coming.
I love it. Yes, we want Choo Choo Soul. Can you hear the chant? And I love the TikTok. I mean, what would we do without TikTok anymore? Oh my goodness. Genevieve, it's been such a joy. So Sesame Place, you've got 6 chances to go see Choo Choo Soul. I wish I could be up there in my conductor outfit with you, but
I know. I wish you could.
You can go to GenevieveGoings.com. Of course, we'll link to it from SamiCone.com. You know that song's going to be in my head the rest of the day. I almost want you to sing us out. Thank you, Genevieve.
Well, let's do it. All aboard the choo-choo train. All aboard.
Woo, that's it. Thank you so much, Genevieve. With prices on the rise everywhere, I want to help you save on something that you know you're going to need to buy, and that's food. Now, some of you may have a favorite grocery store, but if you follow these tips, you're going to find great deals throughout Nashville. Starting at somewhere you might not have thought of shopping, which is the Fresh Market. Every Tuesday, this specialty store has ground beef that they grind in-house and boneless, skinless chicken breast for just $3.99. So not only can you buy that for what you need that week, but buy a little extra to freeze, and that way you have it on hand for summer barbecues or in case someone stops by, and then you don't need to go every week. Now, another store you might not think about when it comes to saving money is Whole Foods. If you're an Amazon Prime member, not only can you save 10% over their sales each week, but if you buy these little containers I got on Amazon, you can use their bulk spices, and their bulk goods in general are great, especially if you only need a little bit of something for a recipe. Their nuts, their dried fruits, their grains. That's a great thing to get at Whole Foods. Okay, other end of the spectrum, we go to Walmart for some of my kids' favorite treats. These frosted cookies, if you haven't had them, just trust me, they're what my kids ask for at every celebration. And speaking of celebrations, you can find these cupcakes for just about $3. They've got all sorts of flavors, but at some Walmarts, you can even go and have specialty cupcakes made. Again, these were my kids' favorite tasting cupcakes, and they do a great job with design and decorating if you give them a little bit of notice. So take heed of that. Okay. I love Publix BOGOs. Now it says buy one, get one free. So most people think you have to buy 2, but here in Tennessee, you only have to buy 1 to get the deal. So these goldfish were buy one, get one, and I just bought 1 and got it at half off. Now there are some deals where it says buy 1, get 2 free. In those cases, you do have to buy everything, but if it's a true BOGO, you can either stock up and get 2 or 4, or you can just get the half price. Now, same thing goes at Kroger. Right now they've got these carrots 10 for 10. 10 carrots for $10. I don't know about you. I can't go through 10 bags of baby carrots before they expire, but you could just get 1 bag for $1. Now the other thing that's interesting about Kroger is that this chicken right here that was just about $8 was reduced to $4.79. Now they'll do this with meats, even produce that they want to sell quickly. So if you're planning on eating it in the next day or 2, or again freezing it, these are great deals not to be missed. You just have to keep your eye out for these kind of reduced manager special. Okay, moving on to Aldi. I know it's a fan favorite, and so if you don't want to wait for something to go on sale, you need some staples like maybe some pepper, some sugar. Aldi is a place to go because you're going to find low prices all the time, even on organic products. Now, this is what's Instagram worthy, is the Aldi finds. Yes, they have their own Instagram account. I think fans have started it. This 3-wick candle I just picked up last night, just over $2. $2. So if you're looking for teacher gifts, stocking up a gift closet, I mean, this is an insane deal, and they have everything from furniture and workout gear to kids' toys. It's just a ton that you will find but it doesn't last long. So check out the Aldi Finds aisle for those goodies. Okay. Last but not least is Costco. I know you need a membership, but not only can you typically find a deal on membership, whether they're giving you a Costco card or some deals to make up the membership price, but this rotisserie chicken by far is still my favorite of any of the rotisserie chickens, and it's under $5. Now the key is that you have to walk to the back of the store to get it. So they're hoping that you might pick up a few things along the way, but if you're focused, I believe in you, you can do it. Plus, it's still one of the only places I know where you can get an all beef hot dog and a drink for about $1.50. You just go in the exit. You don't even have to be a member to enjoy it. So here are some of my favorite finds. Again, I don't recommend doing all of them in one week, but if you are strategic about your shopping, putting it in with where you're running your errands, you can find some great deals without breaking the bank. I'll have the full list on samicone.com, and I hope it helps you save more money today. Did you know that we celebrate both Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month and National Nurses Month in May? Well, my next guest represents both. Welcome, Christy Cronin of Raising Wasians. Hi, Christy, how are you?
Hi, my friend. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm doing really well. Thank you for joining me. You've got such an incredible story, and that's really all I want to do today is just to bring awareness to AAPI Month in particular, because I know you've shared so candidly, especially on your Instagram account. Can you give us just a basic foundation of when or kind of how the AAPI Month started?
Yeah, so it basically started to celebrate almost 180 years of Asian American and Pacific Islander contributions to the U.S. So history, culture, achievements, and it really helped shape the foundation of our country. It started back in 1978, but honestly, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. But it started back in 1978, but it also commemorates May of 1843, when the first Japanese immigrants arrived to the U.S., and also May of 1869, which is about 2 decades later that they finished the transcontinental railroad that was completed mostly by Chinese immigrants.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I also want to say something. Just because you are an Asian American, you don't represent the weight of everyone on your shoulders. I know it can feel like that sometimes, and we're going to talk about that in a second, about what people can do to really celebrate and honor this month. But can you just touch a little bit about what it means to you? Why is this month important to you in particular, and the community that you do represent?
I think because there's been a rise in racism and violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the U.S. since the pandemic. It has risen about 300% just from the pandemic alone. So racism still exists in our country, and it's something that we really need to be passionate about and work on, because our country's better than this. And we can do so much to help the community, to help our fellow people. I mean, humans are humans at the end of the day, and everyone deserves a chance to be treated as such and to be loved.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes we hear racism when we think of just one race, or it's a black and a white issue, and there is racism against Asian Americans. I mean, you're a Korean American, and I know you've had slurs. You've had, I think when we first started talking, I said, talk to me about what's been going on the past 2 years, and you were candid to say, really, it's been my whole life. And you were adopted as well, if I may say, and so that adds another layer of complexity onto it. How do you navigate that, and now raising biracial children, as you document on Raising Wasians? How have you learned to come to terms with that and celebrate that?
That's a super hard question. I mean, the biggest thing is I want my kids to grow up knowing that half of them is Korean, and they should be proud of that. I mean, I honestly have not been proud to be Korean my whole life. And it's taken many, many years to come to a place where I can be who I am and be proud of who I am. And, you know, all the racial stuff, all of the childhood slurs, even as an adult now, as an influencer, I get these things daily, weekly, monthly, you know, and it's things that people don't realize actually exist all the time. Yeah. And I just want people to know that, you know, you can really impact people with your words, you know, and that we need love and support as much as the next person.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I know it's not easy to talk about this, but you know, that's the beauty of a month like this, is that it gives people a chance to share their personal story, right? You can't speak for everyone, but you can share what is true for you. Can you tell those of us that are not falling into that community how we can support those in the community? What can we do to, you know, just to be a support?
I think the biggest thing is that Asians in general, we're usually talked down as the submissive race. And now that we're beginning to speak up, we need more than just us speaking up. It needs to be other people. So you can confront any microaggressions happening in your community. You can check in with fellow Asian family and friends, see how they're doing, and be sure to really listen to them and listen with empathy. Support Asian small businesses. Even things like learning how to value people's names and how to pronounce them and spell them correctly. And then look around you. I mean, am I the only Asian face that you've seen lately? You know? Yeah. Are there Asian people in your workplace,
I love that you said that. And I think, you know, to be able to look around and say, if that's the only face that we know, it's time to meet more faces. Christy, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you so much for having me, Sami. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. When I first moved to Nashville, I was looking for a way for my entire family to help our unhoused friends. And that's how I first learned about People Loving Nashville. And I'm thrilled to introduce you to Ryan Lampa, the founder of People Loving Nashville today. How are you, Ryan?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing really well, and there's so much I want to ask you about, but before we get into it, can you just tell us a little bit about what, you know, stirred in your heart to create People Loving Nashville?
Yeah, sure. Well, I often say that People Loving Nashville kind of created parts of me. So 13 years ago, there was two gentlemen that were living on a stoop behind my house, and I got to know them personally. And it was their story that really compelled me to realize that there are folks in my very community that I can participate in their journey, you know, whatever that looks like. And it started off as a relationship that built into a wonderful friendship. And so, yeah, that's where it started. Yeah. And then I started calling friends and saying, hey, I think there's more hungry people in our city. So let's go see if we can bring some meals and see how we can help.
Yeah, and I mean, it's called People Loving Nashville. I mean, it's really people loving people based on what you just said. I mean, homelessness is such a problem here in Nashville as it is everywhere. What is being done right now? Like, where do we stand with that?
Yeah, totally. So there's a bunch of organizations that have been around for a long time, and there's a few that are new that have come to Nashville, and everybody's kind of rallying together as best they can to bring the resources that they have to address the hardships of our city. You know, there's a lot of cool things that have happened over the season of COVID, where there's a lot more communication happening, a lot more funds to be talking about. But is it enough for right now? I would say no, it's not enough.
Yeah, and so one of the things I appreciate about what you do is that you have these regular occurrences, whether it's a free store, whether it's handing out meals, that you do on a weekly basis. People know to come to you. How can we help? I mean, how can the average everyday person that sees a need but doesn't know what to do, how can we, you know, be a part of the solution rather than the problem?
Absolutely. So I have two different answers for that. So one, you know, honestly, the biggest issue that we have is housing inventory. So attainable, affordable housing is an issue that we have. And a lot of citizens don't think that they can actually participate in that. And that's actually a lie. So there are opportunities if you do have rental. There's some folks that may be watching the show that have maybe a few apartments or have a few condos or have a rental home. They can all participate in bringing attainable and affordable housing to our city. And you can do that through the Low Barrier Housing Collective.com. You can just go straight there, and there's actually incentives that you can gain in putting your housing in that database. Now, outside of that, if you don't have a rental home, I would say come volunteer with us. Come taste and see what we are participating in on a weekly basis. Monday nights are the easiest way to volunteer with us. And then there's actually way more opportunities past Monday, but Monday is a really great introduction. We bring a little bit of education and a wonderful evening in sharing and giving and serving.
Yeah, that's so good. I didn't even know about that. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Before I let you go, we drive the streets, we have our kids in the car, they ask really hard questions. I know I even struggle sometimes going to the grocery store knowing I can buy what they can't, whether it's socks, food, whatever it is. How do you help people kind of wrestle with that when we feel like we're having trouble meeting our daily needs, whether it's gas or whatever it is, but knowing there's other people that are struggling more sometimes?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that one of the main things that we can do on an everyday basis is just have open eyes and open ears, and that when we come across somebody that may be in need or somebody that's struggling, giving them dignity in that moment and love, as we are called to, and we're a Christian organization, and we find our navigation in the Bible. And so when we find that, we find a really great scripture that says to mourn with those that are mourning and rejoice with those that are rejoicing. In need, even if it's at a stoplight, and just saying, hey, how are you doing? How are you holding up today? And then being prepared with maybe a sandwich or something that you can hand and say, hey, I can't do much, but I can give you a meal right now.
I think that acknowledgement is so important. There's so much more we could talk about. I'm going to direct people to peoplelovingnashville.com so they can learn more, not only about the organization, but how they can show up to help and play a part in giving dignity. Ryan, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before I go, I need you to know to live for today. I alluded to all the celebrations happening this month at the top of the show. Not only do I have a daughter graduating high school, but I know there are baby showers, weddings, and so many other gatherings now that the weather is warming up. It can be easy to fill up our schedule mindlessly, but my encouragement for you today is to live each day purposefully. Ask yourself these questions. Will I really regret it if I don't attend? Does the cause, host, or honoree have significance in my life? Do I have the time and money to afford it? And how can I make an impact through either my attendance or interactions? In a time where my daughter and I are constantly being asked what her next steps are, we're being intentional to live in the moment. You know I love to plan and set goals, but if we don't give today what it's worth, our tomorrow may be worthless. So instead of asking someone where they're going to college, when they're getting married, or if they even plan to have children, instead ask them how they're doing today. And if you dare, you just might ask them what it is they wish people knew about them instead. Now that's a guaranteed way to build authenticity and lasting relationships, both for today and into the future. I'm so encouraged by all we heard today, and I hope you discovered more than one way to not only make an impact in your daily life, but in your community as well. I hope you have a great day. Make sure you make it great, and do not wait to tell someone you love how you feel about them. Bye, friends.